Hello, and hopefully we should have vertical and horizontal live stream going. Today I am going to be doing a diamond painting whilst chatting to you lovely people, and I'm also testing out a new software to see if I can combine both the vertical and horizontal chats together. If it works, I will do not know at this moment in time, but we will find out as we go along. So this is the diamond art, crystal art, whatever you want to call it, that we're going to be doing to get today. The one that I really liked about this is that it's not only just got the coloured crystals, it's also got the sparkly kind of crystals, and it's also got the LED lights at the back. Now I've took the batteries out at the back because every time I moved it, I kept on getting the lights coming on. So I want to do that finally at the end when it's all finished. But today's all about getting the crystals down, and if we get to the end of it, then we'll turn it over, put the batteries in, and have a look about getting that set up so you can all see it. I want to try and see if people can hear me, so I'm just going to have a quick look at the chat. Okay, we've got Kevin in on the vertical live stream. Hello, glad you could make it today. Thank you for sharing it on Reddit for me. And Izzy, welcome in. That's on the vertical, on the horizontal. For some reason, yeah, I thought I was going to be able to combine both of these chats, but it doesn't seem to be working. So that bit doesn't work. Right, we'll try again with a different software on the future. I will get it one day. I will find out what's actually going on with it and figure out how to get this sorted so I can share it with other people on this stream. Now, the vertical people will not be able to see everything off to the side. You will be able to see the main piece that I'm doing. But just to show you what I'm working with, I've got a box here. This is just a cheap box that I got from Temu, and I've already put the crystals into the boxes. Some of them are very sparkly kind of crystal type of drills, and these ones are more, I call these lentils. I think they actually look like lentils. So they are just your normal coloured ones, if that makes sense. And I've numbered them according to the little table that you get with the project, just so it makes it a bit easier when I'm actually doing it. The other tools I'll be using is this little tray, and for any bigger pieces I've got the underneath tray as well. And this is going to be my go-to because on this particular piece, these dots are actually a lot further apart than what they normally are. So because they're further apart, I'm not able to use the ones where it's more in a row. So I am going to have to individually place each of these. But, that's just one of those nuances of different projects that you're going to have going on. So my plans are, when I stop knocking everything over on my desk, and I can try and see some chat, which is not happening at the moment. I just want to try and get the vertical live stream chat up if I can. Okay, I think I have both chats up, but unfortunately they're not in the same chat like I was hoping. I will have a play about with that, and if I can get it to work at all, I will be sharing that amongst the other YouTube creators that I am in contact with, because it's all about helping and sharing. Okay, so I'm just going to have a look at what actual numbers are at the top here. Went to the opticians yesterday, I think it was, and they told me I need a new prescription, and that does make sense because my eyes are getting worse as I get older. Never thought it was going to be an issue, but it is. So at the top of this back bit doesn't have any sticky on it because of the lights. So we are working on this top piece, and I want to just try and get that in view on both cameras to make sure you're actually able to see that. and we're starting with number 4, which are these nice sparkly crystal type ones. And all my technology seems to be going off, just bear with me 1 sec. It looks like there we are, okay. I thought the vertical live had stopped for a second then, but it hasn't, which is good. So these little box things that I got was from Temu, another little purchase from them, which, yes, they are cheap things, but these things tend to be pushed around and moved about and broke anyway, so I'm not too fussed about making these things as cheap as possible. And I've also bought this. Now this is from Temu, but it really does seem really well made. The other ones that I was using was really thin and hard for me to hold, and I was getting a lot of hand pain as the days was going on doing these type of projects. So I'm just trying to figure out the best way for me to do this because I've not got a lot of space on my desk. I just want to turn this on its side just so I've got access to my eyes as well as my hands. That's better. Now that's going to look a bit weird on the vertical stream, but I hope you understand why I've got it like that. And we're just going to go ahead and knock that one off. I did mention to Kevin on his last live stream that I will pull some of the diamond art paintings that I have completed out for him, and I have got them to one side, and I will put those on the screen in a few minutes. I have got more than ones that I've already done, but for some reason they wasn't looking to be found this morning. It's something I'm noticing straight away with this one is the glue underneath isn't as tacky as it normally is. It's moving the diamonds about a bit too much. I'm just going to get them with the 2 that I mentioned that I've got, just while Kevin's still on, because I'm not sure how long you'll be able to stay about. Now, on the last live stream, things went a bit wrong, but this is the one that I was doing on there. This is one of the cheaper ones that I got from Temu. And it doesn't have these crystal type ones, these kind of sparkly crystals. This is all just coloured drills, if that makes sense. So that's that one. Now, unfortunately, with this light, you can't see that actually sparkling. I might actually put a post up of that with the lights actually showing how it looks. So that's one of them. The other one I did a while ago, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to fit this into the full view. That's one that I did a while ago. That one you can see a little bit more sparkly, but still, again, it's not as good in this light as it normally looks. That's another one that I did. Now, these all come on canvases, generally, and what has happened with these in the past, you've had to keep them really, really flat all the time. And until you put them in a frame, they're not very protective. I managed to find some holes on the top of these. That's why I've got these 2 out, because I know they've not got any protection on them at the minute. And I want to actually try the glue that goes over the top to make sure it doesn't actually show any difference in these sparkles and it doesn't dull them, that type of thing. So that'll be a video that I'm looking at doing in the next couple of weeks. Just to see how about protecting these and making sure these diamonds don't move as time goes on. So that's for you, Kevin. Just show you what they actually look like when they're completed. It's just a shame they are not showing up on the camera as nice as they normally do in real life, because they do come out quite shiny, especially the ones that you've paid a bit more money for. But this one, with these being actual crystals rather than the just a coloured drills, should hopefully look a bit more sparkly, if that makes sense. Okay, I just want to touch on chat just to make sure nobody's coming. No, we're all good at the moment. Sorry if my hand keeps going in front of the camera on the vertical stream. It's just I am trying to make sure that I've got some know-how of what's actually coming up on the chat, because for some reason it didn't want to work today where I merged them both together. Is that the Big Ben? Yeah, I think we've got the Big Ben on there. We've got the London Eye at the back here, and then we've got other things like the red phone boxes, the traditional red phone boxes, and these type of uh, um, lamps, the traditional lamps. And I think here you can't really see it very well, but I think there's either traffic or some kind of tram or something going across here. You can't tell with the way it's been drawn in the back, or the paint in the background, or the print. But maybe once we've got those drills in place, it might actually show a bit better what that is in the background. So welcome in, light. I did say at the beginning of the stream, I have been told by my opticians I need new glasses. I don't actually use them on the streams because the ones that I have don't really make any difference. So hopefully next week when I pick them up, they should be a bit better. So welcome in Light King and welcome in SS Sethe. I hope I'm pronouncing these right. This is a bit difficult when you can't see. And good morning or good afternoon. Or no, you're only an hour behind, aren't you, Amanda, at Scraptastic Crochet? So you're on the afternoon. Afternoon. Crafting with Amy, welcome in. I appreciate you being there and listening. If you're lurking in the background, that's fine. I do not mind that. Thank you for joining me again. And it should hopefully turn the HD on in my eyes so I can actually do half of these things that I already do in HD. Because when you're doing any type of project, whether that be arts or crafts or anything like that, you need your eyes. Or if that's the way if that's the way you've learned how to do these things over the years with your eyes, yeah, as they start failing you over time, I'm only presuming things have gotten worse gradually. Or my skills have got a little bit better over time and they will be appreciative of when I get new specs on my face, even though I don't like wearing them. I think it's only going to be a positive thing. So rather than me having to have my head right over everything, which is where all the camera gear is and the microphones and all that lot, and keep knocking the camera with my head, I will be able to see a bit better. And I don't know if anybody's in the chat who does things like model scaling or anything that's pretty small. Whether they've used those, it's like a magnifying glass that goes over your head, so you can like quadruple the size of what you're actually looking at. I was looking at them on Temu, but I don't want to buy one of those ones if they're not that good. So if anybody has got any ideas of a decent brand of that, I don't know if you know what I mean. It's sort of like goes over your ears or over your head, and then you're able to see what you're doing a bit more clearly. I see a lot of what do you call it, like model scalers, or anybody that deals with very fine details. They have them over their head. And because the way my desk is set up, and I am learning over time how to sort of make it easier for myself as time goes on, what I am doing is I need to get my head really close to these things. And I can't do that because of all the gear that's in between it, like the overhead camera, the microphones, all that kind of stuff. And if I can put one of those little head devices on with the microphone, not the microphone, the magnifying glass, I should then be able to see a bit better from afar see these tiny little dots and these tiny little numbers when I'm doing the diamond paintings, but also be able to see more, because I do like doing fine art, and I don't really show that on the YouTube channel so much because it takes so long to complete one piece, and to try and do a piece and film it all and edit it all is absolutely impossible to be able to put something that intricate on a YouTube channel and keep that consistent of a weekly upload, or even, it takes months sometimes to actually complete with life getting in the way and the rest of it. So the fine art side I have sort of come away from a bit and tried to do more quick crafty kind of things so that I can get them edited and uploaded. But at the same time, I've really started enjoying these lives and talking to you guys, and that makes me want to continue doing more lives. And I don't know if people would be interested in sitting there watching me deal with a tiny little piece. It could be that I'm working on an eyebrow, for an example, or an eye, and that one eyebrow or eye could take me an hour to do, in whichever, it depends on what medium I'm working in. There you go, just made my first mistake, and I've put that in the wrong place. There we go. That's a different number in the middle. So I've tried a couple of different things on this kind of board, and the traditional ones where you can put more than one in a row don't meet up with the actual pieces where the dots are and the numbers. So that's why I have chosen to use this single dot placing tool. And it just means there's just more to and fro. If you are lurking in the background and you have a finger free, this sounds a bit wrong, but if you have a finger free, if you want to tap away at those hearts, that really does help with engagement. I know a lot of people don't think it does, but I have spoken to several different creators, and since I've been coming on their lives and tapping away at that, they have mentioned how much engagement they've actually had on their analytics afterwards. And that seems to have pushed their future videos and lives out that little bit more. So if you're lurking in the background and you don't want to type or talk or chat, that's fine, respect that. But you're very welcome to tap away at those hearts. What I want to try and do with this one is work at the top, and I have bought some little sheets. There's little sheets that you get and you can stick them all over and just peel one back at a time. But whilst this area has got no glue at the back anyway, I'm thinking of moving all the way down to this kind of area, and then I will take a bit more off and go there. So if you take too much off at a time, and you have, especially this time of year where there's bits of dust flying about because you've got windows open and whatever, that does end up on your glue, which isn't a good thing. I'm not sure if chat has just come to a halt or if there is a problem with the technology side of things. Last week, when I was doing a live, things didn't go quite well and ended up pressing stop on one of my live streams. Or, well, it come up as a blank to everybody else. I have got it open on my tablet just to make sure that doesn't happen on the vertical, but I'm hoping the horizontal one is behaving as well. It was only after a few minutes that someone pointed out that it had frozen that I realised that there was something wrong with the stream. So don't be afraid if you are there and something is not quite right for you to let me know, because I'm quite happy. If you can't hear me or you can't hear or anything like that, I can try and make adjustments to this technology so far as not turning it off. I should be able to make those adjustments to make sure you are seeing and hearing, because at the end of the day, the reason why I'm doing these videos is for you guys out there to watch and enjoy. So if there's something not going on in the right way on the stream, then that's your time to let me know, because I am still learning all these new technology bits and software and the hardware and computer programs. You think chat's okay? Thank you, Amy, for letting me know. I appreciate it. There's nothing worse than going back to one of your streams later on and finding out something wasn't going on the right way it should be. And you just probably lost quite a few viewers because they can't view or interact. So I appreciate you letting me know, Amy. Especially us who are new to it or don't have anybody else there to sort of make sure everything's going right. I do only have a couple of moderators, and one is probably still in Lumberland, and I know the other one is extremely busy at the moment with their business and their new orders coming through and things like that, which I'm totally pleased about. And that's what YouTube can bring to us as well. They can bring new orders and things like that. Kevin, just in case you're still on, I just want to sort of mention, because I know every time I come onto your channel, and sorry, I better start saying who Kevin is. Kevin's part of or it runs Tuber Chat, which is a community-based channel. He does lives I think it's 3 times a week most of the time, and he introduces new content creators to each other, and we all go on there and we all have a chat and we all have a lovely time chatting in the chat whilst he is running through different people who are in the chat and contributing, and he will bring your channel up on screen and he will mention a few little bits about what you're doing, if he's caught any of your streams, if he's got any suggestions, not particularly about one person's, it's not like a channel audit, it's sort of like information and is sort of knowledge in different aspects of YouTube, is kind of ideas and what sort of goes on behind the scenes. And at the same time, it gives you some limelight on your channel so that people in the chat, if they're interested in supporting you or if you want to support them, then you're able to make those connections. But it is about connections, it's not about just getting sub for sub. It is very much a community-based place where you're all putting in the same effort to look at each other's channels, to make those connections and build an audience rather than just sub for sub. So Kevin, sorry, if you're still in the chat, I just want to mention about the cricket thing. If you don't know, or if you're new to the channel, I purchased a cricket machine for myself at Christmas, and unlike a lot of the other crafts and stuff that I do on the channel, it is very much of a learning curve, but it's also an expensive learning curve. You have to sort of buy quite a few bits and pieces, And you have to play about with them quite a lot before you get an idea of what you're actually doing with it. And when you're trying to upload YouTube and run a family and a home and everything else at the same time, you do as much as you can, but you're not making as much progress as you'd like. So I am building up those videos, but I'm also building up my experience. So just as a kind of idea of what I'm going to be doing with that, I have done some clothing. I am looking at doing some merch for my channel at some point in the future, but I want to make sure that I have got everything down perfect with it, because when I become to selling any type of merch or, doing giveaways and things like that of the products that I've made, I want to make sure that they are as perfect as I can make them myself. And when I come to do those videos as well, I'll put in those up and explaining to people what problems I've come across and how I've solved them. So just in case anybody doesn't know what a cricket machine is, I don't think you can see it on the vertical. Let me just see if I can show you on the horizontal, if my other camera is working. Yeah, so it's this thing here. It's a cricket machine, and it's basically a cutter. So all this opens up, you put your sheet in, you download your program, you can do engraving, cutting, folding, embossing. There's loads and loads of different things you can do, but obviously that comes with some learning curves. And because I don't like just doing one thing on a project, so like if I was just to cut something, then yeah, dead easy. Or if I wanted to emboss something, yeah, I can do that. Or if I wanted to engrave something, yeah, fine. I like doing more than one thing. I won't say it's mixed media. Well, I suppose it is mixed media in a way, because I am planning on using some of these smaller skills that I'm doing, like with the diamond painting, with the cricket, and sort of combining them both together so that they can do a unique piece, something that maybe people haven't done in the past or not done as yet. And I should be able to then make some interesting products. So yeah, that's what's going on over there. Just heard about them because of you. The cricket, yeah, they are an amazing machine. They really are. But the software that comes with them, that's a whole new. It's not a good program, and for the way and how expensive and the following that cricket have got, they really need to up their game, because there is other products out there that if I did a bit more research when I first bought it, I did do quite a lot of research, but if I dug a little bit deeper into why cricket isn't as good as others, then I probably wouldn't have gone and bought a cricket. Don't get me wrong, they are fantastic, they are really good machines. It's the software. And I'm not the only creator that has mentioned this. Since I've become a bit more involved with using it, it's the software that's the issue. And it takes a lot of getting used to, a lot of fiddling about, and a lot of remembering, which is something that I'm not good at. So I've got notebooks galore of loads of different things that I have had to write down and try and test. And yeah, it takes a long time to sort of learn it, or it has for me. And that's why I've not actually put out any videos about the cricket machine as yet. But they are an amazing machine. The machine itself is amazing. It does some really, really cool projects. It does some really good different, like I said, it does embossing, it does engraving, it does cutting, it does you can make stickers on it, you can make merchandise on it, you can do a whole lot of things with it. But it just gets spoilt by the software, which is a big shame. Crafting with Hamer. I meant tuber chat, but yes, crickets scare me. Oh, sorry. You've only heard of tuber chat because of me. Well, that's really good. At least I'm getting some new people over to Kevin. He does an amazing job at what he does. Obviously, he's building his YouTube channel up as well. But they've been going for, I think they had their 5-year anniversary recently. And just think about how many people he must have helped over that time. Even if someone has just popped in just a couple of times and then gone off with that information. But generally, people who come into chat end up sticking about and making them connections, like I said, and it just pushes your channel and other people's channels out to the community. And yeah, it's and the good thing that he's doing at the minute as well, which I really appreciate, is he's not sticking to a particular time. Um, he is moving his streams to different times so that he can pick up on other time zones. Because I don't know if anybody else is the same, but I'm in the UK and I love the idea that I can communicate and get involved with people worldwide. But this time zone thing is a big issue. 'Cause, yeah, people are all over the place, and in fact, um I got a new app downloaded. I just want to plug my phone in because that's what I'm streaming on vertically. But yeah, where's it gone? Right, I'll sort that out in a minute. I got a new app and I can't show it you because it's on my phone, which I'm streaming on. I'm gonna put it in the description later on. I'll mention it in my next stream because it's an app that I've found that you're able to put different people's locations in, and it brings up what time zone they're all in, who's sort of awake, don't general hours of awakeness, and it's not connected to YouTube in any way, but I just think it was a really useful tool to sort of say, right, this is this time, this is that time, and I think it's a really good app, but I can't remember what it's called to let you know. So I will remember what it's called on the next chat and I will let people know about it because I've found it quite useful up to now and I've not set it up completely. It's not full. But I'm putting like the main people that I sort of watch or the kind of people who come into my streams, I'm putting their locations in, and I just think it's a really good way to look at the world on a map and you can see all these little pins of the locations of where you want to look where they are. And it's a really good little app that I found. Dee, welcome in. Hello, lovely. Did we get you up? You was on pretty late in my time zone last night. I woke up this morning with my phone battery completely flat. It ran out of battery whilst I was watching your stream. I'd fallen asleep with your stream on, and normally I have it plugged in before I actually start your stream because just in case I do nod off, I have it on. So I don't have it sort of like ran out of battery overnight. And last night I forgot to do that. So this morning I woke up to a flat battery with no phone and I had to plug it in and get that charged before this live stream because I'm using the phone to do the vertical, and yeah, I didn't have a phone when I woke up this morning, which was like taking other people's coffee away from them in the morning. I'm still I'm still late, I'm staying in bed. Well, as long as you've got your phone with you and as long as you're saying hello to us and you're here in person, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, I'll definitely find that Zone app out for you guys. Like I said, I don't want to tempt fate and have a press of buttons on my phone to find it, because knowing my luck, I will press something and that'll be the end of the stream. So I will see if I can. I don't know if I can link it into the description of this video. If I can't, then I will definitely be mentioning it on my next live stream. I just can't remember the name of the app, but it's really, really good. You can sort of have a map of all different pins that are important to you, and you're able to see it. There's probably other apps out there that does the same thing. It's just this one that I come across seems really user friendly. There's like a visual and of this map where you can actually see people where they actually are in the world. And then it gives you the time zones and it even tells you what their weather's like, and you just click on that time zone and it brings up all the information for that area. It's really good. I've not had a massive play about with it, but from what I've seen, it's worth having, especially for anybody that didn't do too great in geography like myself. I didn't like it. Didn't like geography when I was at school. I liked things in geography like when there was talk about cloud formations and all that kind of anything that was relevant to me. If it wasn't relevant to me at that moment in time, if it didn't make sense at the time, it wasn't something that interested me. And I never even went abroad until I think I was in my 20s the first time I went abroad. So, there wasn't much point in me knowing what was going on in other countries because it didn't affect me. And when you're at school, you've got quite a small world going on as it is. So it didn't really affect me, so I didn't really do much with it. Right. Just because these numbers are going further down and I want to try and stay at the top so the glue doesn't become exposed, I'm just going to move over to the next number. When I find where I've put my thing, there it is. Does anybody else lose things as easy as I do? That was number 4. I've literally just had this on camera. I've not moved from my chair yet, and I've got everything organised and set out how I want it, yet I can still seem to lose something that I've had in the same area and very, very quickly. Don't know what goes on. I haven't got it with me at the minute, but my daughter bought me a mug, and I can't remember exactly what it says on it, but she bought me this mug, and it says something like, I walked into this room, stood about, don't know what I was doing. I can't even remember what it is. I'll bring it on screen next time. The one that she's brought in today for me, she just made me a cup of tea before I went live because she could see how stressed I was getting, just in case things didn't go right. But as you can see it, there's my cup of tea, and that's another mug that she bought me. I think she feels a little bit guilty because quite a while ago I had this mug that I absolutely love. She bought it me, my daughter bought it me quite a while ago, so she was quite young when she bought it me, and it was out of her own money. And it had mum on it, and it was one. Do you know one of them cups where you just drink out of it, and it's absolutely perfect. It feels nice on your mouth. That doesn't sound right, but it feels nice when you're drinking it. It's nice on your mouth. It feels nice as well as, and it just makes you drink and taste that little bit better. I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway, she was loading the dishwasher in the last, can't remember, about a year ago, something like that. And she dropped it and smashed it. And she was really upset with herself. In fact, I know I have CCTV in my house, and for different reasons, security as well as keeping an eye on the kids when they was younger. Just bear with me one sec. I don't know how this has happened, right? Before the live, I'll tell you about the mug in a minute. But before the live, I turned this over with the battery compartment on the back, and I took the batteries out. I took one battery out, I should say. Oops. So that the lights didn't come on whilst I was doing this. And I've literally just noticed as I was moving things about, that the lights was on. So you guys have already seen it lit up. So I apologise for that. I did want to sort of turn it all on once I'd finished the project, but it seems like you've already seen it. Anyway, the mug. So yeah, she's dropped this mug on the floor. I do have CCTV, and she was heartbroken. I could see it on the camera. She was absolutely heartbroken. I wasn't in the house at the time. My dad was here watching them. I'd nipped to bingo with my mum. And she was absolutely distraught because she dropped this cup. Obviously give her all the comfort and all the rest, that it's okay, no problems with it, it's just a cup, all that kind of stuff. But I think she knew how much it meant to me, and it made her upset with herself. And she seems to have been trying her best to make up for it, even though she doesn't need to, by buying me new cups every year. But I've got to admit, I've never found. I love all the cups that she's bought me, don't get me wrong. I've never had one that felt as nice as that one. So hopefully one day we will find it again. We have looked on Amazon for it and other places, but we've not been able to find the same mug. I love all the mugs that she gets me anyway. And soon she'll be making her own, because she now has a cricket herself. Just going to catch up on chat. Wow. Wow, welcome in, Laura. Where's my accent from? I'm from the UK. Now, the UK, yeah. People in America or other parts of the country, I have a lot of people on my channel who are subscribed that are from America, as well as other areas, but America's one of them. Tend to like my accent, and it's not something that I've ever liked, and other people have never said anything, but it just goes to show you that just because you hear something every day and you hear other people talk, they don't hear the same things that you hear every day. So something that might not sound that great to you doesn't mean it doesn't sound good to somebody else or bad to somebody else. What's that word? That saying? What's one man's rubbish is another man's treasure, or something like that. Something that you think isn't that great, and it could be rubbish, is actually really good for somebody else. And Nightbot's making an appearance today. Welcome in, Nightbot. I think it's been on a holiday the last few months because it's not actually been taking part in my chats. It just seems to be dying as quick as it got uploaded. But thank you for making an appearance, Nightbot. Wonder what we all this pleasure for today. Sherpa Sweat. I hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. My eyes are not great. I've just mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I have now got to have some glasses updated, and my screen is not very close to my eyes, so I cannot see the words correctly. So I'm presuming that says Cipra Sweater Maharana. I hope that's right. But if it's not, I do apologise. Welcome in anyway. It's nice to have you here. You enjoy my accent? I'm from America. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, it's nothing new to me. I find my voice quite boring in a lot of ways, especially when I listen back to some of the videos that I do, and I'm sat there thinking, "Geez, if I was listening to this, I'd fall asleep." I think the giggles and the laughs and whatever that might sort of break it up a bit, especially if I'm sort of telling myself off over something. But my voice, yeah, I don't know. Other people like it, and I've just got to be happy with that. I'll take that. If somebody else likes it, then fair enough. The only thing I do definitely hate about the way I talk is the ums. And while my brain is processing what I'm actually going to say next, and I'm trying my best to get rid of that because when you become more into YouTube and you edit your videos and every other word out of your mouth is because you're trying to think of what you're saying next, it becomes very tedious taking them out. Which is what's great about the live chat because at least you're taking that pressure off that doesn't matter how many times you're saying you're not able to take that out unless you're going to replay your live stream and you're going to take all that out to do the edit. So yeah, I think if I was to do YouTube again, I'd do a couple of videos just to get used to it and sort of learn the process and see how it all sounds and how people interact with your videos. Very much, I very strongly suggest, and I would do to myself, to go live a lot earlier than what I went live. Keep it simple. I mean, I'm still doing simple on these live streams because I'm not used to it. Keep it simple, do something simple, and just stream directly to YouTube if YouTube allows you to do that. Because it makes you more comfortable with how you're saying things and what you're saying. Whereas before, when I used to do editing on my videos, I used to take every and every silly little thing that I'd said and all that kind of stuff out. But then I got to thinking, well, that's who I am. That's what I do. And what's the point in taking them things out? You can improve on them, but it just takes that stress away when you do lives that you can say and arms and whatever. And you're only you and you're going to make mistakes. And I think I was overthinking and over analysing every single video that I was doing for a very long time because I wasn't I was trying to perfect everything too much, and that wasn't doing me any favours in the length it was taking me to do the editing, and I haven't got the time to do that. I was at a point, I think it was last week or the week before, where I was ready to throw in the YouTube towel because I couldn't handle all the work that was involved with it. So I had to have a complete rethink of how I was going to do all this. And I think I found a way. It took a while and I still need to sort of figure things out. But doing the live side of things is definitely one of the things that's going to be helping me make that transition to continuing YouTube and also being able to do all the other things that I need to do. If you don't know and you're new here, I am a single mum. I have disabilities of my own and I have two children, or should I say young adults with special needs, and that takes a lot of time and effort to manage. But I didn't want it to be. The idea of the channel was to sort of grow an audience base of people who are dealing with, not just issues with disabilities and all that type of stuff, but have somewhere where they can come and talk to somebody and just be part of a chat and have their life either normalised or have somebody who has something in common with that person, with whatever it is. You've seen it all before. If you're in the chat and you mention something about, yeah, I've had a rough day of this and this and this, and somebody else might say, really? Oh, I have this, or I have that, or whatever. It happened with me with fibromyalgia. Before I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, I've never even heard of it, and uh, it was very kind of un, unheard of in the way I, looked at it. It felt like I was completely alone and nobody else knew what was going on. Um, and then when you start joining groups and you start seeing other people and chatting to people, and you find out, yep, you're not the only one going through this. It just it desensitizes it a bit, if that makes sense. It sort of makes you think, yeah, I'm not the only one that's going through it. And then you're able to swap ideas, or you're able to swap, um, how did you manage this when this was happening, or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be a disability. It could be, um, you're a young mum and you need some ideas of how to, I don't know, learn. You've never done certain things in a household before and you don't know how to do it. You'd be very surprised how many people actually want to help. Don't mean come and physically help you. I mean explain a way to do it, or give you some pointers or tips or hints on. People like giving their advice a lot more than what you think they would. And when people do that and they can show some kind of care and love and appreciation, then that's what I want out of this channel. I want people to be able to help each other. So I didn't want to give it up. I'm just going to have a stretch. Hello, Jeremy. Welcome into the chat. I am having trouble seeing my YouTube chat on horizontal, so I do apologise to people who are over there. I'm just going to check and see if I can get that up. Yep, we've had Crafty Witch over there, and Kevin's been in there as well, but it seems to be people are joining the vertical rather than the horizontal, which is great to see. At least I get an idea of who and what is going on and what people enjoy watching best, and that's why I wanted to try these different ways, because I wanted to make sure that I am reaching as many people as I can. And I know I am nowhere near 1,000 subscribers as yet, but I know that the shorts push out vertical live streams, so I'm hoping that if people discover the channel as I am doing some of these lives, then maybe over time I will be able to get a few more subscribers so this actually gets pushed out to more people. I'm just going to move on to this number 5 so I don't take the glue too far down. It's quite a lot of this actually. I think is that the only green? I think it's the only green. That's why there's so few of them. I did the unboxing of this and explained some of the details of the packet and all, everything that sort of come with it. That was in my last video. So make sure I've got that in view. Yep. And these little drill things, especially the orange ones, remind me of lentils. Really remind me of lentils, the coloured ones, especially there's another one, another colour I'll get out in a bit that are they literally look like dried lentils. One thing I really like about this project, is that the crystals are in this one rather than just the coloured gems. Plus the fact we get LED lights with it, which are now back on. God's sake. Took the battery out and it's still lighting up. I'm hoping that because the light is on, you won't see them LED lights. It's a bit of a spoiler, really, isn't it? It's supposed to have turned them on at the end once it's all completed, but yeah, it just decides to turn itself on. How are you today, Jeremy? Has anybody been up to anything good over the weekend? And there's me sat there thinking, what did I do? To the opticians, that's about as much as I can remember. What else did I do? My brain's not thinking today. Nothing unusual there, though. I wonder if you use less movement if I do it like that. I really enjoy having them ones of these where you can place more than one at a time. But it's actually quite nice to do them individually every so often like this. The only thing I'm sort of regretting is not having my new glasses. That's what I did at weekend. I went and done an eye test. So I will be having new specs next week. And I've got some of those the ones that adjust to the sunlight because I'll be using them for driving as well. And guess what I was thinking of doing last night or yesterday before your live? I was going to go onto your jellyfish video and have a go at doing it. But I saw Amanda was live and thought, I don't, my brain's not in the right place to start a new learning process. So I just cheated and went on Amanda's live instead. I don't know if she's still in the chat, but she was in here earlier. She said she'd pop in. But yeah, I was sending plenty of messages over to Amanda before your live. Scares me a little bit when chat goes silent because it's not that I can appreciate people can't be in the chat all the time. What scares me is that something's gone wrong with my technology after last week's after last week's technology allergic reactions. I'm a bit paranoid. Something's going wrong with it because the screen went off for quite a while and the microphone went off as well, and I didn't realise until too late that yeah, it wasn't filming. So much so, the last stream that I did, I had to change the title. I had to change the title to something along the lines my technology had an allergic reaction to me because it wasn't working. What I was hoping for with this live, it's working better than the last one, as I managed to get two things lined up, but I was also hoping to have the chats merged. And I had everything set up and it was working before the live. And then when I went live, it decided, nope, I'm not merging these chats. You can have two separate chats and put up with it. So that's where we're at today. But it's a bonus for me if it just does what it's supposed to and it doesn't kick my camera out. Right, either there is some more of these greens later down, or they was just extras because I can't see no more on that bit. For some reason I've got a little orange one still in there from the last. Let's put you there. And I'll put these ones back in and then we'll see what number we're on next. I need to keep an eye on the time this time because I may be able to get on later tonight, but for now I can't be running too late because my son, he's home from college later. So we're on 7. And 7 is these chocolate chips. They look like chocolate chips to me. Just gonna have a drink. Everybody stay hydrated. Let's get the chocolate chips out. Bit small for chocolate chips, aren't they, really? There's loads and loads of times in my younger years where you asked me, what did you do at weekend? And I either had loads to tell you or I had that good of a night that I couldn't remember what I did. These days, I just don't remember what I did. Not because I've had a drink, but just because of brain farts and not remembering what I've actually done. Because I'm sat here thinking, what did I do over the weekend? And apart from the eye test, which probably wasn't even the weekend, it was probably a few days before that, I cannot remember what I did. I had my parents over yesterday. Oh yeah, I took my son to Costco. That's what I did yesterday. And I'm presuming people know what Costco is because my son informed me yesterday that it's an American store, American wholesalers. So I'm presuming people know what Costco is. But it ends up, you go in there thinking you're going to save some serious money, and you actually spend a lot more than what you would have done if you just went to a normal shop. So when we go there, it's a treat because I end up buying new things. It's alright if you're buying in bulk, but even the stuff that I normally buy, they don't sell in bulk. Which I suppose that's what it's for. It's for businesses who are buying bulk. I just thought they'd have a lot more choice of things that they sell there, or things that you'd find in a shop but in bulk, and that's not the case. But whilst I was there, I did go to the opticians. They have like an inside stall thing, have like an area where they do lenses. They even do eye tests there as well. And I took my prescription there that I got over the when I went to the opticians. And the glasses that I was looking at in the opticians were about £30 cheaper, Costco. So I'm just I'm on the verge of buying them. But one thing that I did go into the shop for, I went with my daughter a few weeks before that. I take them separate because it's a lot easier to handle two separate children in a place like that. Um, but when I went with my daughter, there was this office chair there, a lazy boy office chair, and the chair that I am currently sat on is quite new. Yeah, it's less than a year old, but I have to put two cushions on it to not feel the bars underneath. And I don't know why it's like this. It wasn't a cheap chair. It was a decent, what I thought was a decent chair, but it didn't seem to do great over time. Anyway, when I was in Costco last time with my daughter, there was this office chair, a lazy boy office chair, and I thought, just have a sit in it, see if it's any different. And oh my God, it felt like I was just falling in. I'd end up going asleep in it, I think, and if I stayed sat there for too long. But yeah, it was a really comfortable chair, and if you're thinking, I can be sat here at the desk for a couple of hours doing one of these live streams or filming a video or whatever I'm doing, and by the time I finish these videos, it's not so much whilst I'm sat down. I do get some twinges and pain, whatever, whilst I'm sat down. It's generally when I get up to move and start walking around the house, and I notice it over the full course of the rest of the day how much pain I'm in, and I know it's down to sitting in this chair. But that's what I want to. I want to be able to sit in the chair and sort it. So I was toying for the last couple of weeks of buying this chair. It wasn't a cheap chair. It was I think with the VAT it worked out at 130 pound, which after buying one, not even 12 months ago, it's a big decision for me. I don't have that type of money sort of just lying around. Um, so, it was a considered purchase, but I thought over the last couple of weeks, I thought, no, it will, you can't put a price on pain. If it helps you with your pain levels and it helps you with your daily life and all the rest of it, it's worth getting. So I was quite excited about going getting this chair and being able to sit in comfort and do these videos in more comfortable surroundings and have a better outcome after the videos or after the live, not to be in pain for the rest of the day or as much pain for the rest of the day. And I went to a different Costco, still a Costco, but I went to the city one rather than the one that's more local, thinking they would have more choice and they would have maybe, other options of different things. And I went there with my son yesterday and finally found this chair. But for some reason, it was an extra £50 without VAT on top of the money that I wasn't even looking at spending originally when I went with my daughter. So I just got what we was getting and walked out, but very disappointed that I didn't manage to get this chair that I've been looking forward to getting. Um, so now I'm gonna go back to the original one where I found it and just hope that it was just a price problem at the other one and they haven't actually put it up in price at this other one, at the one that I originally went to, because I really want this chair and I know it's going to be making such a big difference, but I can't. I think it worked out with VAT at this other one. It was 230, £240, something like that, which I know it's not a lot for an office chair of that kind of quality, but it wasn't like made of real leather or out like that. It was a lazy boy, which I know is a big name, but at the same time, it was still only, PVC. It wasn't like real leather or anything. And that amount of money is, it's not pocket change, is it? So I'm just hoping that if we go back to this other one, we might be able to get the chair that I was originally looking at getting. So I'm not sure when I'm going to go and get that chair or if I'm going to end up just getting the glasses instead. But I can't use the glasses for a chair, and I can't use a chair for glasses, so I have to decide on one or the other. Both of them will help me with my health, and both of them will help me with my YouTube. I need to decide which one to get. Either that, or I need to find some more cushions that I can sit on. I was hoping that if we got a few extra people in today, we might be able to have a look at a couple of games that I bought. So I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing because I'm not sure if anybody's still here. And if it works out, we get a few extra people in. We can have a look at some of the little games that I've bought. A couple of them I'm going to save till I do a late night stream because they are more adult based. Sure, I saw a few more sevens. Turn the stupid thing back on again, Anna. Right, what have we got coming down here now? We've got some sixes, we've got some, what are them, eights? Eights. Let's do some sparkly ones. Or threes. Ooh, threes are sparkly ones. Let's go on to the threes. Because why not? So we're moving on to the wheel. And I like it when they're sparkly. I'm just a sparkly kind of girl. Look at that. Sparkly, sparkly. Not too many and being too excited over doing them. On these straight ones, I just want to try. See if I can do the where you've got it on a longer one. Bear with me 1 minute. Ow. I just swung round and felt with my shin on the cupboard. Sorry about the crackling, I'm just going to get this open. Not sure if this will work, but just want to try. So I'll try it just in case it does work. I'll try it with a smaller one than that one. That one I'll do. It's like a 2. Just means we can get it done a little bit quicker if it works. If it doesn't, then it doesn't. Maybe. I don't think we're going to be as straight as what I'd like though. We can move them along. That didn't work, did it? Sometimes when you do things a bit quicker, it can mess things up, but other times you can do it and it'll work. At the moment, I think it was quicker just individually placing them. Because they're flipping all over the place at the minute. Yeah, I'm going to go back to individual. For now. Tell you what, just give it a try with that one. Just in case it was user error. So the reason why you shape them like this is to get them all in little grooves. And then when they're all in place and they're all lined up, you can try and get them next to each other so that when you come to pick them up, sometimes it takes longer to do it, getting them lined up. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's not lining up. You know, earlier I was talking about doing art, as in drawing and coloured pencils and things like that. But I'm not sure how many people would be interested in that. So if you are watching it on the replay or if you are in the chat at the moment, you can let me know if that's something you'd find interesting or boring or I mean, I know it's good seeing when you see these edited videos where you can see the progress of a piece of art come together and how quick it sort of looks like on video it gets done. But in real life, same with majority of videos, it's not done that quickly or that easily. Something that could take you 5 months to complete could be shown in about a 10-15 minute video if you do correct editing. And I'm not sure how much of that time I have free and whether it's best just to stick to crafts and diamond art and maybe a bit of coloured pencils, but more of a, colouring book kind of thing, or mandalas, or something simple. I don't want to use my expensive pencils on something that's just going to be in a colouring book. But I do have, as you'll see on my other videos, I've downloaded unboxing of the Caran d'Ache coloured pencils and the the Faber-Castell colour pencils. Now, the Faber-Castell ones I would use in colouring books and things like that, because yes, even though there is an expensive set, they are not as specialised as like the Caran d'Ache ones. They are generally for professional use because of the light fastness, so that when you're actually doing a piece for a customer, they're going to get the best overall long term effect, that them colours are not going to fade as quick as they would do with other coloured pencils. And that's basically what you're paying your price for. You're paying your price for the light fastness, and you are going to be doing that kind of work for selling your work, not just doing it on camera. I've just had a message pop up on my laptop saying that YouTube is experiencing some issues with my video. So if anybody is out there in the chat, I would really appreciate it if you can let me know if there is any problems. If not, I will continue going and hope for the best that nothing's going wrong. But it's just popped up saying, what's it saying? It's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So I hope that's not the case. And I hope that you are still able to view this and you can still see it. But after last week's live stream going wrong, I'm a little bit paranoid on this video not going out as good as it should do. Oh, that sign's gone off the screen now. So I'm presuming it's back to normal, but fingers crossed that won't happen in the replay. For anybody out there in the catch-up crew, the replay crew, whatever you want to call yourselves, we need to come up with a name for you special guys out there who actually go back and watch my videos, especially the lives, because I know they can be quite long-winded sometimes, especially if I've got involved with the chat, because I enjoy chatting to you guys. And when people come into the chat, my videos tend to last a bit longer because I'm enjoying chatting to you. Such a shame, especially on this one where there's no colour changes, that we can't actually have multicoloured lights. I mean, I'm doing this as it's telling me to, but I'm actually feeling a little bit disappointed that I sort of understand why they've done it, because Big Ben out, is lit up and it's got some crystals on it. These crystals, they're still crystals because they've got the shiny backing, but they're all black. And I know the London Eye is lit up majority of the time in different colours for different reasons. And it just seems a bit of a shame that it's black rather than multicoloured. Because now I'm left putting all the same colour on at the back. But that's the way it is, I suppose. I'll just turn the stupid thing back on again. Need to not move it. Good Files, welcome in. Good morning. How are you today? Appreciate you coming in. We have the Bud Files in the vertical stream. I'm not sure who's left in chat at the moment, but if you can all make the Bud Files feel welcome. We're just doing some diamond painting and we can go along and chat if you'd like to chat. Let me know what you've been up to this weekend. We are doing diamond art and crystal art this one. This has other colours as well as crystals, and it also has LED lights at the back. So when it's fully completed, I will be dimming the lights and turning this on. Unfortunately, with this particular project, we're having to do it individually because the lining up tools are separated at a different space than the normal lineup. So it's a bit tedious that we're having to put them all in individually, but some people find that therapeutic. I do too, and Sometimes it actually goes through a bit quicker than lining them all up, because you then have to sort of go back in and change the line up of where they're being put, because they've not been placed exactly where they should be. We are working on the London Eye at the moment. Big Ben's in the forefront, and then we have a few other iconic London type landmarks or items. With you being on the vertical live, I know you're not able to see as much as on the horizontal live, so I'll just turn that so you can have a quick look at what we're actually doing here. I appreciate that it's got cellophane over the top because I'm keeping the glue sort of covered up, but hopefully you can sort of see that taking shape now. And as I get more into what I'm doing, I will be turning the lights down a bit so that you can see more of what it looks like. Have you had a good weekend, and what are you up to currently? Oh, you're over on the other one now, Bud Files. I've just noticed that you're on the other stream on the horizontal. Yeah. Kevin was in earlier. A few of the other people was in. They're showing their faces, but I don't think they're either lurking in the background somewhere or um they have had other things to sort out. If they're lurking in the background, I'm sure they'll pop through at some point. I was hoping with this one that we'd be able to get it all done in one go, with there being a lot of straight lines, but because of the space in between each individual diamante, I'm having to do them individually. So just goes to show how long these projects can take, and that it is sort of a project that you need to take your time with. Obviously, the more you do it, the quicker you get after doing them. But when they're individually placed, it does take that bit longer. I just wanted to try merging these chats together today, but the software just isn't allowing me to do it. I was hoping to give some good news about it and be able to share with other people how to do it after this one, but Doesn't look like I've figured it out yet. But at least we've made a bit more progress on keeping the live and the horizontal one going. I think I've now figured out what the problem was from last week. It's all about changing one setting at a time and changing slight things rather than drastic changes, because when it comes to you remembering what you've done, if you've done several things, then that then becomes more difficult to figure out how you managed it on one time. So I think I've managed it, and I will be making some videos in the future of how to be able to do these vertical and horizontal streams with the software that I'm using, and then I should have a better understanding of how to do it with other people's software and giving some information to help you guys, or you guys who are creators yourselves. Unfortunately, wasn't able to merge the chats like I was expecting or hoping to. I've got everything set up hoping that would work, but I just need to try a few different ways to make sure that we're not missing something, or that I've not, it's not a user error, it is a software error, and then I can figure out a better way or a different way to do things. If anybody's lurking in the background, I would be appreciative if you can tap away at that heart button. One, I can see then people are actually still here, and that helps also with engagement. With the nerd guys in the background, checking out all the engagement stats on my videos, and hopefully pushing it out to a few more people. I know until I get up to 1,000 subscribers that YouTube won't push it out as much as other people's videos, but every little bit helps. So I don't know if it looks like I am, or how I'm doing this on camera itself, but just to give you some idea of how to actually place these down. I don't just sort of go and plonk them exactly where they're going because they don't end up in the right place. You do have to sort of move them about, and the glue, whilst it's still sort of the way the glue is on this, it's sort of tacky, but it sort of moves at the same time. So you do have to sort of move it into the right position once you've put it down. Sometimes they stay in place, sometimes you have to push that a little bit harder to move it one side or the other so that it does actually stick down. Yep, not getting the chats up like I wanted to. I keep checking on the software just in case it does decide to work, but it doesn't seem to be wanting to work. I have to excuse the banging in the background. Someone's just opened the door. Sorry, someone's just knocked on the door and my daughter's going to answer it. These things happen. Oh, right, that's something I wasn't expecting. Wasn't expecting this, but my son is already home, which I need to go and check on. So whilst he's just getting his push bike, I can hear him getting his push bike out of the shed. I'm just gonna finish off this top bit with nobody being in the chat. I can come back and finish this later on because I could do with a little break anyway. So I'm going to just finish these lost crystals off. And then we'll come and do a live later on tonight. Because I appreciate that it's during the day for people in America and around school time for people in Britain. I chose this time basically so those who can drop in can, but also so I can actually try different software out to see if it was possible to merge the streams without me being too overwhelmed with the people that are in the rooms. We had a bit of an influx when the stream started, and people have seemed to have gone about the day. So I can pop on later and I'll just carry on with a vertical and a horizontal, but without merging the chats, and I'll just try another setting to see if I can get those chats merged. I just want to try and finish this little bit at the top of the wheel. Won't be many. I'm weird on the camera. Okay, I know there's nobody in the chat at the moment, and it looks like, according to my YouTube stats, that nobody is watching. If I'm wrong, I apologise. But I'm going to put you guys on pause, if that's possible. Yep, there's only one watching there. And just check, there's only... And that one doesn't say much at all. Right, so yeah, there's nobody in view at the minute. So what I'm going to do is put the streaming on pause, and then I will come back to it in a short while.